Hello boys and girls, I hope you are doing great. Today we are going to continue the second part of our lesson project in Module 2. Now let's start with the objectives. By the end of this video you will be able to write the first draft of a diary about your last weekend. Revise and edit the first draft of a diary. Write your final draft. Dear students, you will find this lesson in your students book page 25 and your workbook page 19. Dear students, here we are going to talk about writing steps. Here we have 5 steps that you will follow when you write your diary. Let's start with number 1. Pre-writing. It means before writing. What do you have to do before writing? You have to think of your topic, brainstorm, and organize your ideas. Number 2. Drafting. Here you have to organize your ideas into sentences and paragraphs. Number 3. Revising. Here you have to reread and ask, how can I make it better? Number 4. Editing. Here you have to correct errors in spelling, punctuation, and grammar. Number 5. Publishing. Here you have to share your work with others. Now let's start with step number 1. Pre-writing. Here you have to think of your topic. What is the topic that you are going to write about? Here you have to write about your last weekend. Then you have to organize your ideas. How can you organize your ideas? You have to put your ideas in a sequence, which means which one happened first, second, and so on. Here we have the topic that you are going to write about. My last weekend. What are the ideas that you need to write about in your diary? To know the answer, you have to think of these questions. When did you go on holiday? Where did you go? Who did you go with? What did you do there? Did I like? Did you like it? Here, to write a diary about your last weekend, you need to think about date. For example, last week, last Saturday, last Friday. Then, place. For example, mall, restaurant, park. Then, people. For example, my family, my friends, my cousins. Then, activities. For example, swimming, climbing, playing football. The last thing is feeling. For example, happy, excited, bored. Dear students, when you are going to organize your ideas, the first thing you need to think about is the time. So you have to choose the day or days that you are going to write about. Here you have to write about your last Friday and your last Saturday. Also, you have to decide which part of the day. For example, in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. Here, the second thing you have to think about is the place where you went. For example, restaurant, beach, cinema. Now, the third thing you have to think about is the people you went with. For example, friends, family, cousins. Here you have to think of the activities you did at that time. For example, eat lunch, swim, watch a movie. Now, the last thing you need to think about is your feeling. How did you feel? For example, happy, excited, bored. Now we are going to talk about step number 2, first draft. You have to write sentences and paragraphs. Here you are going to put the whole ideas that we discussed in sentences, then in paragraphs. Pay attention here. Here you are going to write the first draft of your diary. You need to write 2 paragraphs. The first one is about your last Friday, and the second one is about your last Saturday. Here we have the first draft of the diary. Let's read it. The first paragraph is about your last Friday. Last Friday, I go to the beach with my cousins. We arrive at 9 o'clock in the morning. We surfed. We swim in the sea. I am happy. The second paragraph is about your last Saturday. Last Saturday, I went to my grandfather's farm. We ride a horse. We climbed a big mountain. In the evening, we went home. It is a nice weekend. Dear students, the first objective, write a first draft of a diary about your last weekend, was achieved. Let's move to the second objective. Revise and edit your first draft of a diary. Boys and girls, here we are going to talk about step 3, revising. Here you have to make your first draft better. How can I make it better? You have to add, remove, or change words. Now look at these arrows between the words. What can you add, remove, or change to make your diary better? Let me help you to do the first one. Here we have to add then. We add then to make a sequence. Here it means the same as next. Then we served. Now it's your turn. You can stop the video and do the task. Go on. Let's see the answers. Here we have to add and we have to remove the full stop. We use and to join sentences. Then we surfed and swam in the sea. We ride a horse and we climbed a big mountain. Here we have to add very. I am very happy. It is a very nice weekend. Very is an intensifier that is used to make adjectives stronger. Now, this is your first draft after revising. Here we are going to talk about step number 4, editing. Here you have to correct errors in spelling, punctuation, and grammar. Dear students, look at these lines under the words. Here you are going to correct the mistakes that you made. Let me help you to do the first one. Here the word Friday must be written in a capital letter, because the first letter of the days must be written in the capital letter. Now it's your turn. You can stop the video and do the task. Go on. Let's see the answers. Here the pronoun we must be written in the capital letter. When we start a new sentence, the first letter of the first word must be written in the capital letter. Here after then, we have to use comma. Here the verb go must be in the past. Go, went, because we are talking about last weekend. What are the other verbs that must be in the past? Great. The verb arrive must be arrived. The verb to be am must be was. The verb ride must be rode. The verb to be is must be was. Here the words home and weekend were misspelled. The word home must be written like this. And the word weekend must be written like this. Well done. Dear students, as you see here, the second objective, revise and edit your first draft of a diary, was achieved. Now let's move to the last objective of our lesson. Write your final draft. Here we are going to talk about step number 5, publishing. Here you have to share your work with others. Here after you finish writing your diary, you have to share it with others. Dear students, this is the final draft after revising and editing, and it can be shared with others. Now open your workbook page 19, exercise number 4. Now it's your turn to write your diary about your last weekend. Don't forget to follow the writing steps when you write your diary. Dear students, all the objectives of our lesson today were achieved. Here we have a friend who told us about his diary, and he asked you, what about you? You have to share your diary with your classmates and teachers on Teams. I hope you have enjoyed this lesson and I hope you have learned something new. See you next time.